What if the biggest secret about the pyramids wasn't buried in the sand at all? What if it was hiding inside a chatbot? Right now, millions of people are watching videos that make an incredible claim. They say an artificial intelligence called Grok has finally solved one of the oldest mysteries on Earth. They say it discovered how the ancient Egyptians really built the Great Pyramid. But before you get excited, you need to hear the whole story. Because what actually happened is stranger, and in some ways more interesting than the headlines are telling you. Something is going on here. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly what it is. For thousands of years, one question has haunted historians, engineers, and dreamers alike. How did a civilization without modern machines lift stones weighing as much as a school bus and stack them into a mountain of solid rock, so precise that it still stuns scientists today? People have searched for the answer using shovels, satellites, sound waves, and now artificial intelligence. In the last few months, a flood of videos has spread across YouTube and social media. They claim that Grok, the AI chatbot built by Elon Musk's company XAI, has cracked the code. Some videos say it found secret chambers. Others say it decoded hidden messages. Some even say it revealed that the pyramids were never tombs at all, but strange machines built for a hidden purpose. These videos have racked up millions of views. People are sharing them, arguing about them, and asking the same question over and over. Did an AI really solve the mystery of the pyramids? Here's the truth. This story is not really about ancient Egypt. It is about something happening right now, in our own time. It is about what happens when powerful new technology meets one of humanity's oldest and most irresistible mysteries. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly what Grok did, what it did not do, and what scientists have actually discovered about the pyramids using real evidence. Some of what you are about to hear will surprise you more than any AI claim ever could. Now let's go back to the beginning. Around 4,500 years ago, on the edge of the desert near modern-day Cairo, workers began building something the world had never seen before. It would rise higher than any structure on Earth for the next 3,800 years. Nothing built by human hands would beat its height until the completion of the Eiffel Tower in 1889. The Great Pyramid of Giza was built for a pharaoh named Khufu. It contains more than 2 million blocks of stone. Some of those blocks weigh over 2 tons. Some weigh far more. The base of the pyramid covers over 13 acres. That is roughly the size of 10 football fields, and yet the 4 sides are almost perfectly aligned with true north, south, east, and west. The margin of error is smaller than what many modern buildings achieve with laser tools and satellites. Think about that for a moment. No steel, no cranes, no electricity, no wheel strong enough to carry such weight across sand. And still, they built something so precise that engineers today still study it in disbelief. For centuries, this precision fueled wild theories. Some people claimed the pyramids were built by a lost, advanced civilization. Others claimed aliens helped build them. These ideas make for exciting stories, but they are not supported by evidence. The real story, the one written in stone, papyrus, and workers' bones, is just as amazing, maybe even more amazing because it was done by ordinary people. But that wasn't the biggest surprise waiting for us. For a long time, historians believed the pyramids were built by slaves, forced into brutal labor under the whip. This idea came from ancient Greek writers, centuries after the pyramids were built. It became a popular image in movies and books. Then, in the 1990s, archaeologists made a discovery that changed everything. Digging near the pyramids, they found an entire lost city. Not a city of prisoners, but a city of workers. It had bakeries, it had breweries, it had medical facilities where broken bones had been carefully set and healed. Skeletons found at the site showed signs of hard physical labor, yes, but also signs of care. Workers with healed fractures. Workers who had lived long enough to grow old on the job. This did not match the picture of a slave camp. It matched the picture of a paid workforce. Later, archaeologists found something even more precious. A set of papyrus scrolls written by a man named Merer, who lived during the reign of Khufu himself. These scrolls are considered one of the greatest archaeological discoveries of the last century. They are literally a diary, a logbook of the men who helped build the pyramid. Merer wrote about his crew hauling limestone blocks by boat. He wrote about food deliveries. He wrote about schedules, shifts, and daily tasks. This was not the writing of a slave. This was the writing of a skilled worker, proud of his job, doing something that mattered. So here is the first major truth. The people who built the Great Pyramid were not slaves dragged in chains. They were organized, fed, housed, and in many cases, respected. It took an estimated 20,000 workers, rotating in shifts over about 20 years, to complete the Great Pyramid. That is already an incredible human achievement. But it still leaves the biggest question unanswered. How did they actually move the stones? This is where things get interesting. Because for centuries, nobody had a fully satisfying answer. And that gap, that unanswered question, is exactly the space where new theories, and eventually AI-generated claims, would try to fill in. Let's step into the mystery itself. Picture the desert around 25 and 60 BC. The sun is brutal. The air is thick with dust. Thousands of workers are gathered near a quarry. Massive blocks of limestone sit ready to be moved, some of them heavier than a modern pickup truck. There are no trucks, no cranes, no engines of any kind, just human muscle, rope, wood, and incredible teamwork. For centuries, the leading theory was simple: ramps. Workers, historians believed, built long ramps of packed earth and rubble. They dragged the stones up these ramps using sleds, pulled by teams of men with water poured on the sand ahead of the sled to reduce friction. This theory made sense on paper, but it had a serious problem. A ramp long and gentle enough to drag stones to the very top of a 481-foot pyramid would need to be almost a mile long. Building a ramp that massive would have required more material than the pyramid itself, so historians kept searching for a better answer. Then, something remarkable happened. Scientists studying an old sled, discovered in Egypt years earlier, noticed something strange painted onto ancient artwork. A carving showed a person pouring water, directly in front of a sled being used to drag a heavy statue. At first, this seemed like a small ritual gesture, but a team of physicists in the Netherlands decided to actually test it. They built miniature sleds and dragged them across trays of sand. Dry sand caused heavy resistance. The sled barely moved, but when they wet the sand just enough, something incredible happened. The friction dropped by half. Wet sand, it turns out, forms tiny bridges between grains that stiffen the surface just enough to let heavy objects glide smoothly across it. Too much water, and the sand turns into mud, and the sled sinks. But the right amount transforms the desert into something closer to a slippery track. This discovery, confirmed through actual laboratory testing, is one of the most solid, evidence-based breakthroughs in pyramid research. Not because an AI guessed it, because scientists tested it with their own hands. But moving stones across flat sand only solves part of the puzzle. What about pulling them up, block after block, higher and higher for 20 years straight? This is where the story takes an unexpected turn. In 2013, archaeologists exploring an ancient harbor called Wadi al-Jarf along the Red Sea coast uncovered something astonishing. Buried in the ruins were papyrus documents older than any others ever found in Egypt. These were the diaries written by Merer, the same worker mentioned earlier. But this discovery revealed something new, something that would change how we understand the entire pyramid building process. The diaries described a massive transportation network built around water. Egypt's landscape was very different 4,500 years ago. The Nile River had multiple branches, and one of them flowed much closer to the Giza Plateau than the modern river does today. Using this branch, along with a network of canals, workers loaded limestone blocks onto wooden boats and floated them directly toward the construction site. Some blocks came from quarries just a few miles away. Others, especially the fine white limestone used for the outer casing, traveled from quarries hundreds of miles south. Even more incredible, in 2022, scientists studying sediment beneath the modern desert confirmed something remarkable. There truly was an ancient branch of the Nile running close to the pyramids, one that had dried up and vanished from view over thousands of years. This was not guesswork. This was confirmed through soil samples and pollen analysis, published in a respected scientific journal. So picture it now, thousands of workers, boats gliding along a river that no longer exists, ramps built with wet sand tracks, stones inching closer to the sky, one careful movement at a time. This is not a story about slaves suffering under lashes. This is a story about human ingenuity, teamwork, and incredible planning, executed on a scale almost impossible to imagine. But there was still one more mystery. The stones on the outside of the ramps could be dragged, but how were they lifted those final few feet, block by block, all the way to the top? Engineers still debate this today. Some believe the Egyptians used a system of ramps that spiraled around the outside of the pyramid as it grew taller. Others believe internal ramps, hidden within the structure itself, were used and later sealed off. In 2017, scientists using cosmic ray imaging, called muon tomography, discovered a mysterious hidden void deep inside the Great Pyramid, above the Grand Gallery. This void is real. It was confirmed by multiple independent research teams using cosmic ray detectors capable of seeing through solid stone. Nobody has fully explored it yet. Nobody knows exactly what it was used for. And this is exactly the kind of unanswered gap that AI chatbots love to jump into. So now, let's talk about what actually happened with Grok. In recent months, several YouTube channels published videos claiming that Grok, when asked about the pyramids, gave shocking new answers. Some claimed it revealed secret construction methods. Others claimed it uncovered hidden messages inside the stones. A few videos went even further, claiming Grok suggested the pyramids were never tombs at all, but ancient machines built for mysterious energy purposes. These videos sound thrilling. They are designed to sound thrilling. But here's the important part you need to understand. Grok, like ChatGPT, Gemini, or any other AI chatbot, does not dig in the sand. It does not run laboratory tests. It does not travel to Egypt and examine stone blocks with its own hands. What it actually does is read enormous amounts of existing text, real scientific research, published theories, historical documents, and yes, sometimes fringe or speculative ideas too, and then generate a written response based on patterns in that information. When someone asks an AI a leading question like, what is the pyramid's true hidden purpose? The AI can end up producing a dramatic sounding answer, not because it discovered something new, but because it is pulling together existing speculative theories and presenting them in a confident, engaging tone. This is not the same as scientific discovery. It is closer to a very well-read assistant summarizing ideas it found online. Some solid, some not. In fact, several fact-focused creators have already pushed back on these viral claims. Their videos point out that many of the shocking AI discoveries being shared are simply repackaged versions of old fringe theories, dressed up with AI branding to make them feel new and exciting. They've used AI to scan satellite images and detect previously unknown buried structures in Egypt. AI has helped researchers digitize and translate ancient texts far faster than humans working alone. These are real, verified uses of AI in archaeology, and they are impressive. But there's a big difference between AI helping analyze real data collected by scientists and AI chatbots generating answers based on a text prompt with no new data at all. So when a video claims Grok revealed the secret of the pyramids, what likely happened is much simpler and much less mysterious, a mix of real research and internet speculation. The response was then turned into a video, with dramatic music, quick cuts, and a thumbnail promising shocking secrets. It is designed to grab your attention. And it worked, because you're watching a video about it right now too. Here's where the real twist comes in. The true story of the pyramids does not need exaggeration. It does not need aliens, secret, machines, or mystical energy fields. The real story is already one of the greatest achievements in human history. 20,000 workers, most of them ordinary farmers doing seasonal labor when the Nile flooded their fields, came together to build something that has survived for over 4,500 years. They used wet sand to reduce friction. They used a river that no longer exists to transport massive stones across the desert. They organized shifts, meals, medical care, and logistics on a scale that would challenge even a modern construction company. And they did it all without a single AI chatbot to help them. The turning point in this story is not some hidden AI revelation. The turning point is realizing how much real, hard evidence has already answered most of the mystery, slowly, carefully, over decades of actual scientific research. Every discovery we've talked about, the worker's city, the healed bones, Merer's diary, the wet sand experiment, the hidden Nile branch, the cosmic ray scans revealing a hidden void, these are all real. They were found by archaeologists digging in the dirt, physicists testing sand in laboratories, and geologists studying ancient soil. Not one of them came from a chatbot typing out a dramatic paragraph. So what does this mean for us right now, watching these videos flood across our screens? It means we are living through a strange new moment in history. For the first time, powerful AI tools can generate confident, detailed, exciting-sounding answers to almost any question we ask, including questions humanity has struggled with for thousands of years. This creates something amazing. It also creates something risky. The amazing part is that curiosity has never been easier to satisfy. Anyone with a phone can ask an AI to summarize decades of pyramid research in seconds. That's a genuine gift for anyone who loves history. The risky part is that confidence is not the same as truth. AI can sound absolutely certain while repeating theories that have already been debunked, or presenting speculation as if it were fact. And when creators wrap those answers in dramatic music and urgent thumbnails, it becomes very easy for millions of people to believe something is a scientific breakthrough when really it's just a well-written guess. This is not just happening with pyramids. It is happening with medical questions, historical events, and current news, all across the internet right now. So the real lesson from this entire story is not about Egypt at all. It's about us and how we handle powerful new tools responsibly. Which brings us back to the original question. Did Grok AI reveal how the pyramids were built? The honest answer is no, not really. Not in the way these viral videos claim. What Grok and other AI tools can do is gather and summarize the real discoveries that scientists have already made, sometimes mixed with less reliable ideas found across the internet. It can present them in a compelling way, but it cannot dig, test, or discover new physical evidence on its own. The true discoveries, the ones that actually explain how the pyramids were built, came from real archaeologists in the Egyptian desert, real physicists testing sand in a lab, and real geologists studying ancient riverbeds hidden beneath the sand. And honestly, that story, the real one, is more incredible than any AI headline could ever be. 20,000 ordinary people, 20 years of relentless work, a vanished river brought back to life through scientific detective work, a clever trick with wet sand that turned an impossible task into a manageable one. A worker named Merer, who,